What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome back to some more from the desk of XCal, where today's topic of discussion, what else could it be? It's that time of year again. That, of course, is E3. And I figure I should make a video about this stuff because, let's take a look at what you get at E3. All the game trailers, the demos, the announcements, the reveals, the hype, the controversy, so on and so forth. And, E3, it's just a popular place to do that sort of thing. And I mean, this can happen throughout the entire year. And if you read the comments throughout my videos over time, it's not rare. I mean, it's very common to see, like, hey, XCal, what do you think about, the new trailer that just came out? What do you think about this game that's coming out next week? Can you give us your thoughts on the matter? Blah, 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 so on and so forth. So this serves to answer those questions as well, because chances are what I have to say today is going to apply to the future as well, unless things drastically change, which I don't really think is going to happen. So I'm knocking out a whole lot of birds with one big mighty stone. So it'll be good to have this video to refer people to in the future. So we got to get that out of the way. And on top of that, as a little added bonus, some console war action is going on. Oh my console wars are so much fun, man. What has it been? 7 years since the last one? Gee, I remember standing outside the Toys R Us many years ago with my brother trying to get my hands on a Wii. Man, time sure does fly. But anyway, without further ado, I'm not here to bore you about my stories of standing outside long stupid lines outside of a Toys R Us. Here to talk about some E3 and some console war action. So first things first, we'll start off with E3. What do I think about E3? Honestly, I don't really care. I don't get excited for it. I rarely watch anything from E3. It's just not something that appeals to me at all in the slightest. I mean, if you tell me E3 disappears tomorrow and never comes back, I wouldn't be fazed one bit at all. And the reason why that is because you look at what you get at E3. I mean, you get trailers, the demos, all that stuff, I mentioned earlier. And that's just stuff I don't care for, because you got to keep in mind, this stuff is specifically designed with the intent to look good to you. I mean, when these companies, when these publishers are demonstrating their new game or whatever, the answer that they want to hear from you is, wow, that looks good, I gotta get it. Just based on, 30-second cinematic trailer, or like a short 5-minute demo, maybe 5, 10, 15, 20-minute demo of the game. And that just, it doesn't work for me at all, because what you see with these is not indicative of the full game experience. Because a game to me only matters when I can enjoy it in full, when I can go to the store, buy it, bring it home, pop it in, and go to town. That's the only time a game matters to me. I don't care how good your trailer looks. It does not indicate, how the game experience is going to be. And it's like, they can't show you everything, right? They do that, you have no reason to buy the game because you've seen everything it has to offer already. I just don't see the point to me. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I get it. People like to get excited about new games. I mean, that's fine and dandy. It just does not work for me. I mean, let's take, for instance, a game I'm doing a playthrough of right now, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Let's say Ubisoft hires you to, do a 5-minute demo of, trying to make the game look as good as possible. What are you most likely to show? Probably the execution streaks. Execution streaks are bad at. I mean, they're a great addition to the series. They are. They really are. I mean, it's cool stuff too. You stab a guy in the face, you drag his lifeless corpse, and you point it at someone else, and then you shoot through the guy's face. Pow! Right in the chest of another guard for another kill, and you just do that over and over again with all these different cool animations. You make it Swiss cheese out of a guy's lungs. Oh man, this is some beautiful stuff here. I mean, it is great. I mean, that is what you would most likely be. That is most likely what you're gonna show. Killing like 50 guards in the span of like less than a minute. I mean, that's some impressive stuff. You are not gonna show the boring ass side quests that they have in that game, where you follow some stupid whore for like 5 minutes as she points out, 3 people who may have poisoned her the night before. And even it's like what you do to these people is not really spectacular. spectacular. I mean, you have to beat them up, you have to knock them out. I mean, it's like big fucking. I mean, they don't tell you that you have to do this stuff over and over again. You have plenty of missions like this, completely boring. I mean, you don't feel any sense of accomplishment when it's all said and done. And at the end of the day, you might get like what, an extra weapon to play around with. And if you've played Assassin's Creed, I mean, the difference in weapons is purely aesthetic. I mean, there's really no difference at all. I mean, you're not going to show that. They show that, you're fired, you're out of the job, and Ubisoft probably closes its doors the next day because their demo was so fucking terrible for one of their flagship series. I mean, I just don't see the point, because these trailers are not indicative of the full game experience, and that is what matters to me. You want to know the last game I got really hyped for, had a really serious vested interest in? Diablo 3. Look how that turned out. One of the biggest flops in like the last 10 years, if not some of the biggest flops of the last. Oh god, Diablo 3, what a damn nightmare. Every time I go to their forums, it's like, let's file a class action lawsuit. We got fucking dupers and botters and this stupid auction house. Like, what the fuck were they thinking? Like, how could it go wrong too? I mean, I think I was right to have a serious vested in Diablo 2, the greatest games of all time, sequel to that game made by Blizzard. I mean, at the time, you know, seemed that they could do no wrong. Everything that they produced was fucking gold. Look what happened. I just don't see the point anymore. I got burned hard on that game. Ooh, that was terrible. That was terrible. I just don't care. And plus, you know, this is me personally. I mean, I like to go into a game knowing as little as possible. I mean, I just don't see the fun in knowing as much as I possibly can before I get into a game. You know, I like to surprise bitch myself when I hop into a game, knowing as little as possible. I mean, that's just me. I just don't see the point in, you know, learning as much as I possibly, you know, hop into BioShock games. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be able to get all these vigors and do bigger combinations, you know, shoot crows at people, set the crows on fire, massive damage. I mean, I like to learn that stuff for myself. So, you know, like, watching these trailers, I think it ruins my own personal gaming experience, on top of, like, not offering very much at all to me. So I just don't see the point following it. Don't care. I used to care, but not anymore. It just doesn't do anything. So, there that is. Could care less. So, console wars. This is always a fun topic to discuss. Oof. So, I mean, this is another thing I don't really care for, because chances are, when it's all said and done, like 3 years from now, I'm probably going to own all of them. I already have a Wii U. Definitely going to get a PS4. Xbox One, I'm probably going to wait a little bit before I get that. I'm probably going to get it. So, and plus I've got a gaming PC already. I'm going to have everything at my disposal. I'm going to be in a very fortunate position to be able to do so. So, it doesn't really apply to me, but I mean, if you were to hold a gun to my head and say, pick a platform, motherfucker, I would pick PC. I mean, you get most of the games on PC. I love mouse and keyboard. Plus PC, I mean, you can do everything else. You know, you watch movies, stream the music, second screen, whatever. I mean, it does it all already. It's interesting to see the evolution of these consoles. I mean, they're becoming more and more like computers. Like, they're talking about releasing Internet Explorer for their Xbox 360, adding browsers. I mean, you can do social media on them right now. You can watch Netflix. I mean, all that stuff you can already do on a computer. But, you know, it wouldn't surprise me, you know, like 10, 15 years from now. I mean, they're probably going to be selling us like miniature computers. Would not surprise me in the slightest. But as a gamer, if I have to pick one, I pick PC. Mouse and keyboard's too damn good. I love it. And I'm sure someone's going to point out, well, you always play Call of Duty on console. What do? Answer is simple. Numbers. I mean, any given night for Black Ops 2, I mean, you might get like, what, 70,000 active people on just the one console. Probably, maybe even a little bit more than that. And on a good night for PC, I mean, you might get like, what, 7,000 people on a good night. I mean, what the fuck am I going to do with 7,000 people? I want to be able to play whenever I want, and you can't do that on PC. You can do that on console. The choice is easy. There's just way too many people playing on console to pass up, and way too few people playing on PC to even give it a consideration. I don't see the point. So console it is. But between the PS4 and the Xbox One. I mean, if I'm gonna pick one, I gotta go with Sony because I gotta look at what I've done with the current generation. And I mean, the Xbox 360 to me, I mean, what I use that for is mostly multiplayer stuff, like Call of Duty and like the fighting games that I've done with Spoon. It's like my multiplayer platform. But I mean, you can also get those games on the PS3 as well, and in some cases you can get it on PC as well. I mean, the PS3, I play most. If I can't play it on PC and it's a single-player game, I'm gonna get it for PS3 because the controller to me is a lot better suited for those single-player games. Like I've said this before, I definitely love like my hack and slash games on the PS3 controller. I think the Xbox controller is a little too clunky for that sort of thing. I mean, you got to be precise with this stuff. I think I have a little bit more precision and accuracy with the Sony controller. And what else here? And plus, PS4, they have this, well, PS3, and I have an entire, like, catalog of games, like PS1, PS2, even PS3 games that I still haven't gotten around to that aren't even on. You can't even play on the Xbox. It's got that backwards compatibility. I mean, if we're going to be honest, I could probably live on my PS3 alone for, like, the next 3 years and be completely happy. But I know PS4, their backwards compatibility is a little weird. They're like doing it with this Gaikai cloud streaming service, which, from what I understand, is it's sort of like what Netflix is to like TV shows and movies. That's what Gaikai is to like video games. It's like streams games to your console via the internet, which I'm not quite sure how well that would work out. Like one guy was pointing out, it's like just because you can play Mass Effect 3 in your web browser doesn't mean you would want to, because I mean it goes off your internet. They've recommended that people are going to need at least a 5 megabit down or up connection or something. Most people don't even have that. I shouldn't say most people, but there is a fair number of people who don't even have that. I mean, I know I do, but I mean, just because you can do it doesn't mean you're going to want to do it. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that fleshes out, but the fact that it's there, I mean, is a plus. Plus, it is a bonus service, so, I mean, if you don't want it, you don't like it, don't use it. So, there that is. And the Xbox One. Xbox One, well, $500 for something that I would only use for playing games. It's a little bit much, and plus, I mean, it comes with, like, Kinect. I don't care for Kinect. I mean, Kinect to me is like a gimmick. You might have fun with it for like an hour, and then after that, it's like, I'm done with this shit. I don't need it. I don't want it. I mean, I have a Wii for my gimmick, and I'm not really a big fan of the Wii either. Playing games like that. I mean, it's like when it comes to the Wii games. I mean, if your game is better played with a GameCube controller than it is with like all the crazy motion sensing crap, I mean, I think there's a problem. And it's not a style of enjoying the game that I care for. So, I mean, I can live without that. And plus, like most of the Microsoft exclusives, I mean, they're probably going to be on PC as well. Like that Titanfall game, that's got a lot of hype going behind it. That's going out for PC, going to be out for PC as well. And EA have stated that they're thinking about releasing it on the PS4 as well, like a year down the line. And when you think about it, like all the big name titles, they're gonna be on all the platforms. So I mean, what it comes down to is preference, and my preference is the PS4. If I can't play it on PC, so there that is. Console wars, I don't really apply. I'll probably end up with all of them, but if I'm gonna pick one, I gotta go with PS4 because it has more to offer me. I like the controller better for single-player games. Plus, if they're Gaikai, if that's even how you say it, streaming, you know, works out because they're gonna start off with PS3 games and then they're gonna gradually go into like the PS2 and PS1 libraries. But yeah, interesting to see how that works out. But I mean, I could just keep my PS3 out, and PS3 served me very well over the years. Got a lot of damn games I can play on my PS3. And I got one of the good PS3s too, even though it is the big 80 gig mothership shit you see in Star Trek. It served me well, and it still serves me well. So PS4, that's what I lean towards. Probably end up with all of them, but like I said, if I have a preference, it's PS4. So, there that is. That's enough black screen for today. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And till next time, peace soup. Okay, I lied. No, well, maybe a little black screen after this bit, but there were some things I didn't cover, and it's some of the more controversial stuff, like the online check-in and the DRM stuff that Xbox One is going to have. And if I'm going to be honest, that stuff is probably not going to affect me, because if my internet isn't on for 24 hours, chances are that my power's out. My power's out, can't fucking play anyway, but it doesn't change the fact that it's there, and I get that, and it's like, I don't understand, like, why is it even there in the first place? Like, what's wrong with the way things are now? And like, as far as like the borrowed and used and rent games things goes, like I can't even find accurate information on how it's supposed to work. It's like the first thing I type into Google, Xbox One borrows games, and the article I read is like the Xbox One official Twitter is saying one thing, and the jackass on stage is interviewing and saying completely different thing. I mean, I don't fucking know what's going on. But, I mean, that ad that Sony ran about how to borrow games, it's like, this is how you borrow games on PS4. Here you go. Thank you. That is how you borrow games on PS4. I mean, that shit is hilarious to me. I love it. But, and then, like, the online, like, online for single-player use, and then, like, when they bring up the issue with the guy they're interviewing from Xbox, he's like, yeah, we have a system for what is it, for people with connectivity issues. We call it the Xbox 360. I'm like, god damn, man, that's douchey. Even by my standards, my guy would never say something like that. Man, that's saying something, I think. That's really, and yeah, like, what good is that gonna do you? I mean, because I really doubt Xbox 360 is gonna have all the games the Xbox One has 1, 2, 3 years down the line. So, what's I don't know, they kind of, I mean, their whole presentation has been ass. I mean, if they had done it a little better, maybe the support would be a little bit more positive, but yeah, that's just me. I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably not going to affect me at all, but it doesn't change the fact that it's there when it really shouldn't be. So, that's where I stand. Even if it wasn't there, I would still go with PS4. So, okay, be soup for reals.